everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Business series brought to you by Reality NXT. This is Pradhanjali Rawal. On this episode, we will talk to Mr. Ankur Gupta, Joint MD, Ashiana Housing. Hi, Mr. Gupta, how are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, so first of all, let's start with please tell us about your brand, Ashiana Housing. Our audience would like to know more about the brand.
So we're a 41-year-old brand. We started out of Patna in the 1979, and after that we grew to Jamshedpur, then to Bhiwadi near Delhi, then Jaipur, Jodhpur, Neemrana, Gurgaon, Lavasa, Pune, Chennai, and Halol, Gujarat. So over the last 41 years, we've kind of tried to spread our wings and do housing in all these markets. From a perspective of Ashiana, our largest strength is we do premium mid-income housing. What we take a lot of pleasure in is giving the middle-income housing consumers what the rich have in the country. So we were earlier, in the 1990s when we were selling 5 lakh rupee unit, we had swimming pools in those projects at that point of time. So we really, try to figure out how to give more value back to our consumers. The second strength of the company has been that we maintain our projects. So we've been maintaining our projects since 1991. So the project we delivered in 1991 is still under our maintenance. We've got it painted 3 to 4 times again. Some buildings did not have lifts. We got lifts put up. So kind of, just kept upgrading projects over time. And the third strength of the organization is concept-based housing. So we have senior living, kid-centric homes, uh, uh, apart from the comfort homes which we do.
Okay, yes, so when I was going through your website, I came across kid-centric homes. That sounds really exciting. So tell us about kid-centric homes and how they are different from, any other residential homes.
So from a look and feel perspective, you won't find any difference. It looks and acts similar from the sense. But what we generally do is the idea of programming for kids. So what happens? This idea came from a lot of we were just thinking, what are the big trends in the country which is happening? And two trends caught our eye. One, the families are being so the three actually. Neutralization is on a rise. Dual income is on a rise, and thirdly, kids money being spent on kids is very high for their education, and we want the next generation to be better than our generation. So these three trends were clear. So when we looked at, for kids, when they were living in a housing project, lots of moms, if they were dual income, could not take their kids to any classes or schools or any part of the education piece. So they were very dependent, and that was a very hard thing. Second, if they were able to take it, like if they were moms, but then they would take a 15-minute drive, drop the kid to a class, wait for half an hour, 45 minutes, then bring it back, because it made no sense to keep the travel going. So when we looked at these problems, we said, why don't we solve this problem within our housing society? And what we did is we came up with a concept kids come along and do lots of programs, which could be from dance, singing, which are usual, to things like rocket making, ATM making. They have their own bands. They do their own gardening for vegetables. They make their own sandwiches. We have a reading hub where kids were not reading earlier started reading a lot. Tuition classes, homework assistants. 1 month they were acting like traffic inspectors. So the whole idea of the program is to make sure kids have a varied amount of activities they can do.
So, how do you think that gated communities can transform India?
uh, One of the biggest strengths I think of gated community is this diversification meeting each other, right? So think of a gated community. I'm, let's say, working in a particular company with a different role, and I meet a person working in a different company with a different role, and the ideas we exchange becomes a lot more valuable. Same thing happens with women, if they're housemakers, and the same thing which happens with children. So one of the biggest things I think is the kind of cross education which happens in this is of a lot more value than we actually give to it. So the relationships we bring.
With the time, how technology is helping you in the age of COVID-19?
So, we've been able to deliver a lot of services, especially we take a lot of pride in activities, so like thinking of kid-centric homes, think of senior living, think of even our comfort homes. We do a lot of services through our technology. So today, all our activities, which were offline, we try to move it online. So we were able to do a fairly decent job. So now I don't think it'll completely stay online, but now we can mix up online and offline, which is the next big thing on technology which we are doing. The other thing from a technology perspective, I think, is a lot of convenience and services. So we moved all our complaint handling, gate management, consumer data, all online through that, and we are able to give a much better, faster services to our consumers. So what is happening is, with the use of softwares, online products, we're able to give faster service, better quality service, and very clearly measurable over time. So there are two things which I think which is helping us a lot, and what we see in the future is activities. A lot of the online activities going to help us, and secondly is the idea of giving services to our consumer fast.
Okay, okay, that sounds great. So my next question for you is, please tell us about your expansion plans and if you have any recent upcoming projects.
So we have a few projects coming online. One, we are expecting two projects this year online, which would be one in Gurgaon and one in Pune. Both approvals are on its. We're on the process of getting approvals right now. Except that we are concentrating on senior living in Chennai, Pune, and the Delhi NCR market, and we've already closed certain land deals, and we're hoping to get them on next year. So our largest focus is in senior living, and that's where Delhi NCR a big market, Pune and Mumbai a big market, and Chennai a big market. And these are the three markets we're concentrating on and looking at how to grow them at a different level. And Gurgaon, from a regular housing perspective, we're betting big on. Except that our Jaipur market is a big market, Bhiwadi market is a big market, which we'll continue to concentrate on. And Jamshedpur, actually, over the last 2 years, have become a great market for us, and we're looking at doing more deals in Jamshedpur now.
Okay, so according to your experience, in which cities has been the demand for senior living has been on higher side? Whether these were like tier one cities or maybe tier two cities.
So generally tier one, because I think a lot of children who work in tier one want their parents to be close by and still not in the same kind of house. So
Okay.
it kind of creates, for the parent also, not even the child. I think the parent doesn't want to be in the same house. So for us, the big cities are a big marketplace. So we are concentrating again the Delhi NCR, the Pune, Mumbai, and the Chennai. Chennai has done the best for us because we think there the demographics is largely a large percentage of seniors. So if India is at 8% seniors, I think Tamil Nadu is at 12, and then
Okay.
so Kerala is the highest, then Tamil Nadu, then Maharashtra. So
Okay.
these three markets, because of its own density of seniors, makes a lot of sense. And Delhi NCR market, I think, is a no-brainer. It's very large. It's like it's no questions. We've done already about 1,000 homes of senior living in the Delhi NCR market, and we want to do a lot more.
Okay, okay, that sounds great. So, what do you think in today's business is the role of sales and automation? How important is the role of sales and automation according to you?
Both are critical. Sales is a critical function from a perspective that it allows to bridge the gap between education. I think a lot of times we look at sales as a very bad thing, right? Oh, sales kar raha hai, so he must be lying and trying to sell his product, and he's
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, there's a need for the customer, and that needs to be fulfilled. And a sales guy fulfills that need. If you have an honest sales guy, what he does is he looks at what your need is and makes sure you have a product which fulfills the need. So I think as a sales person, if you think like that, I think it's a brilliant and a very important piece of it. So for us, marketing and sales kind of collide because it's more of information gap filling rather than selling in the bad word way. I love the word sales, but a lot of people don't like it. From an automation perspective, So honestly, I sometimes think it's overrated. Okay, at one level, I think, and at one level, I think it's a necessity. Okay, so it's, I think it's a contradiction in my own thinking of life. So we need automation, but we sometimes make automation little more bigger than it is. Okay, it sounds cool. Hey, you touched this and this happened, and it becomes bigger than life, which is not true. So when good technology is usable, automation is usable, it works very, very well. So for us, data, it makes a lot of sense. For consumer to complain on platforms become very easy. To get addressable becomes easy. To communicate becomes very easy. So what my think is that, technology for just technology's sake is not good enough. Figuring out why that technology will help and making sure we deliver to that level very, very well is important. And I think technology is going to take even a bigger role. I'm not blind to it, but we need to be making sure we use it correctly.
Absolutely. So, during COVID times, all the developers and all the companies, they face a lot of challenges, and now everybody's evolving and working towards it. So, how do you think for you as a company now things will be different uh, after this post-pandemic era, in especially in 2021? Maybe you can share with us some of the challenges you faced and how you were able to deal with it.
So first 3 months to me on the COVID, last year lockdown was like a mayhem. I thought this is it, being, you think the world is going to go apart, but it's actually worked out very well for us. Sales are very good, employees are happy, customers are happy. So overall, from a 360-degree perspective, it's been very good. I see for certain changes which we will do in design. So the one project we're looking at Pune, we're starting to create like areas where work from home can become an important thing.
Okay.
So there will be small design changes which can make a big difference. So in the Gurgaon project, we're coming up with the internet cafe part of the thing. So it's almost like a co-working space for people in the project. So we see certain small design changes, nothing major, where people are able to understand their privacy as well as at the same time, take care of the any kind of viruses. Uh, from I from a challenge perspective, I think I was blessed, to be honest. We had great people. People made it to work. We moved. I think within 5 days of the lockdown, we were already online, doing meetings online, figuring out our next strategy. Our people who are maintaining were making sure they're on ground so people's lives don't get disturbed. Our customers were generally happy because we were able to service them on everything. Uh, our sales team started doing online site visits, moved a lot of site visits online. So when the lockdown opened, we got a lot of site visits and we got sales. We were able to give great customer service to a lot of people. I had situations where people who were not living in our project also wanted medicine, and my team was delivering it to them. So I think what we realize is if you take care of people during the good times, during the bad times, people come back for you. So I don't know. I wish I had challenges which I could truly speak about. Our labors were there. One of the things we did was we took care of all our labors. We just didn't feed them. We almost made sure that they get we paid them also during the lockdown. So whichever labor was on our site. So after the site opened up, our construction just went full force. So we're delivering all our projects on time.
Before we sign off, would you like to share something with the audience?
I always say from a perspective to consumers is that please just don't buy price, buy past reputation, look at old projects of the developer, understand the developer very well. It's one of the largest purchase you do, and you know being well researched is the power you have, which is the largest power you have. So there will be this pricing thing is a little overrated, and as the markets are going up again, which we are already seeing some signs of it, you're going to get some price attractive prices. Just don't fall for it. make sure you do your research and hope you get a great product with a great price.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for joining Mr. Gupta on Let's Talk Business series. For the viewers of Let's Talk Business, we'll come back with many more brand stories. Till then, stay tuned and keep watching Reality NXT. Thank you.